Ooh! Yo! God knows I've been a 911 fan for most of my life, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. But you know, these days it feels like people think loving one thing means you have to completely reject anything else in the same lane. When I first got my hands on Porsche's water-cooled cars, my experience was totally different. It's just another shade of the same color. Their Porsche-ness is undeniable, just 20 years younger, fresher, and in many ways even more dedicated to those same core values. As it happens, I've got a sponsor for the channel who supports me massively with everything paint related, the German company MG Colors. Link in the description, check them out. Michael, the founder, recently brought a pro filmmaker on board to level up their brand. That's how I met Kieran, who basically dragged me in front of the lens to film a segment about one of my ongoing Porsche projects. I told him, let's talk about the restoration details, but Kieran thought that might be just a little bit too dry. Instead he suggested, why don't we call it, the most unloved Porsche is actually one of the best. Okay then, why on earth should we not? So we're in the late 70s, early 80s, and Porsche has these three entirely different sports car lineups. The long distance sports car 928, you know, the traditional 911 being the sports car, but if we're honest, not the fastest car in the world any longer. 911s, you know, they haven't been really fast at that time. Nobody's ready to believe, but what they actually were missing is a really quick, nimble, agile sports car with a little bit powerful engine, well balanced, not too big. And here you go. It's just that. I'm quite sure that if you had put those three, I'm talking about the turbo of course, on the racetrack in, let me say, 85, this one would have been by far the fastest on the Nordschleife, I guarantee, you know. And that's why I love them, because they're such great sports cars. And the only negative thing that you could say about it is actually that it's not a 911. It's like a bit, you know, like telling Margot Robbie you don't like her because she's not Marilyn Monroe. I mean, what is that good for? The 924, because of the history, as I told you, it had an Audi engine, and customers weren't entirely happy with that. So Porsche quickly understood if they wanted to be a proper Porsche, it needs to get the Porsche engine. And so they took the 928 engine, which was a V8, and they just left away, you know, basically they just left away one cylinder bank. And so they got a 4-cylinder. And that's the story of that engine. They labeled it 944, gave it a little bit of a wider body, according to a special version of the 924, which was well accepted on the market, and the 944 was born. They gave it 2 balance shafts in order to get rid of the 4-cylinder vibrations. It's actually an issue with that car, because I'm quite sure that they're not connected to the belt properly. They're a little bit off phase, which means they are increasing the vibration rather than killing it. It's a turbo engine, and you know, every engine has a hot side, the exhaust side, and a cool side, which is the intake side. Now, you would normally put the turbo on the hot side of the engine, but there is just no space for a turbocharger here. So they put it at the cool side, and that means that the hot exhaust flow needs to go under the engine and over to the cool side. So the turbo is actually at the left side of the car, where the intake is. Now that creates tons of problems. The hot exhaust gas needs to be transported from that side to the other, and it goes under the engine, and every other component that it meets on its way, I'm talking about the engine mounts and the starter, are going to be heated up. So there is like insulation everywhere, heat shields. All the engine compartment is covered in aluminum foil to keep the heat away from the vital components of the car. And I'm still not talking about the oil temperatures. So you asked me about the handling, and that's just one word that comes to my mind, and that's unspectacular. Because, you know, if you have like a high performance front wheel car, you would always have that understeer at some point. If you drive a 911, the weight in the back, all the weight in the back, is something that you have to permanently keep in mind. Because one way or another, you're going to have oversteer or understeer. They are so well balanced. They are neutral up to very high speeds. Oversteer, there just isn't. I mean, you could obviously, if you release all the power that she has a blow-off valve, a wastegate, if you will. And if the turbo pressure is getting too high, she releases that valve, and you can hear that. It happens at like, I don't know, 3.5. Let me show it to you.
Yeah. Okay.
2000 slow, 3000 slow, and whoo!
Oh my god! What? Oh my gosh! Right. Okay, that's something else. That is unbelievable.
There is that torque wave that kind of makes you what's abhängig? Makes you an addict.
Like
it's very addictive.
Addictive kind of adrenaline.
You're getting addicted.
It's like, oh my god, like the
like a drug.
Yeah. Droga.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of a drug. That surfing that torque wave is a drug.
Yeah.
No, it's fantastic, and never before has a rather small engine filled an engine compartment that completely as it did here.
You can tell I love the light here, especially that feature.
Yeah,
is such a Porsche thing. Everything. The last time I remember this briefly, as I said, with my granddad's car, he had one of these.
Because you know the balance shafts, they are actually killing all the vibrations that are four-cylinder specific, bringing it up to the level of a 90-degree V8 or a six-cylinder inline engine. So there is, if that engine is set up properly when it comes to the balance shafts, it's very smooth. It's smooth like the Boxer engine of the 911. It's smooth like any V8, like any BMW inline six. It's very, very good.
It's just that, and just to think, you know, this was made in the 80s, and that, do you know what I mean? That's just incredible.
Yes. I mean, it's 2025 now, and if a Tesla does such a thing, that's spectacular enough. But imagine yourselves back in the 80s and that drama happening on the road. I mean, you buy that car and you go out for the first time on a country road and you show it to your friends. It's mind-blowing acceleration and all that drama, you know, the sound, the quick rise of the torque.
Oh, that's crazy.
When it all comes over you within like 200 revs. As mentioned earlier, my partner MG is a car paint specialist. Having them by my side allows me to look for cars that are truly worth preserving in their original factory paint, as much as possible anyway. For all sorts of blend-in jobs, they create custom paint to match each individual car. I just send them a sample part and they create a color match that's as close as humanly possible. Towards the end of the film, you'll find a section where you can learn more about MG and that special service. Just a heads up, that part was recorded in German, so make sure to switch the subtitles on. A couple of weeks after we finished shooting, I actually repainted the left door sill. It looks like the car might have caught a dent from slipping off a lift at some point, and I wasn't happy with the previous owner's repair job. A separate film about that part of the project will follow soon. So when I buy a car, my top priority is to get one that is as much as possible in original paint. So I'm not too picky, because finding 100% original car means that you go to a price range which might be a little bit unrealistic. You know, there are those survivors that grandpa bought 2 years before he passed away, and then, you know, it has like 5,000 kilometers on the clock and nobody used it any longer. That's okay, that does exist, but it doesn't mean that you have to look for that. What I'm looking for is a car that has been touched up as little as possible with as much as possible original paint. And that is actually the reason why I picked this one. It's not 100% original. It has been repainted at parts. It has been repainted not in a good manner at parts. That's where MG is coming in. But all in all, it's very original. I can tell, you know, if two cars come up to my place at the same time, in the same color, and one has been repainted recently and one is original, I can immediately tell the difference. I can pick the one which has been repainted in a second, and I'm always right. So it's just a different car if it's original. Okay, this part, the left fender, is in original paint. Porsche painted their cars very thinly. That's 110 micrometers, well, even a bit less. 90, that's a very typical original Porsche paint. This, the bumper, it's made of plastic. I don't care. It looks the same if you paint it 1 time, 3 times, 5 times. It's plastic anyway, so one more layer of plastic, it doesn't really harm anything. So that has been repainted and the color match is acceptable. I'm happy with it. I won't repaint it. Then we got this part, the pop-up lights. We have 160 here. So I shall say that is a quality repaint. It's reasonably thin. The painter put another 40 to 50 to maybe 60 micrometers on. And I would say he knew what he was doing. The hood, 120, original. 110, original. 120, original. That part, the nose, I'm sure, you know, when they were used like a couple of 10,000 kilometers, they always have stone chips. It's just unavoidable. So this guy here has 170, 180. That has been repainted. One thing I really hate from the bottom of my heart, Kieran, look at this.
Oh, you can actually see it.
It's, you know, I mean, what's in the mind of the guy who did that? Mm-hmm. Now there's something here that I find very disturbing. I don't have a measurement here. Yeah. I have 1.7 mil here, and you can see Porsche applied the underfloor coating at the bottom of the sill in order to protect it against stone chips. Very typical Porsche. Now that has been carried out in the factory, but it has been touched up in a not very beautiful manner. And while I can do a measurement here, almost 2 millimeters, I have no signal here. I don't know what it means. It could mean that there is some putty here. Very disturbing. And she might have had a rust hole here or an accident. I have to remove this stone guard and look inside. Okay, so I think I'm going to repaint all the parts where the stone guard is covering the sill. Maybe do some blend-in paint job towards the doors and the fenders. I'm sure going to have to repaint the left door and the front part where they totally messed up the Porsche badge. Now, the point, if you repaint parts of the cars, there's one thing which is crucial, and that's obviously the paint match, the color match of the paint. And in order to get that right, what you need is paint specifically created for that very individual car. If you go to some arbitrary painter at some place and order just the color number of this car, you get something which may match or not. In most of the cases it won't.
Wir haben mal wieder ein Musterteil eines Kunden bekommen. Diesmal haben wir einen Tankdeckel zugeschickt bekommen. Der stammt von einem Porsche 944 aus dem Jahr 1986. Und wie ihr seht, es ist ein Weißton. Und das Weiß ist über die Jahre natürlich ausgeblichen. Und da es sich um einen Oldtimer handelt, ist es ein besonderes Projekt. Und wir helfen dem Kunden dabei, das passende Weiß für seinen Porsche zu finden. Da führen wir eine Farbanalyse durch. Der analysiert die Farbe und mit Hilfe des Spektrometers kann ich einen Lack erstellen, der genau diesem Weißton entspricht. So, die Farbanalyse ist schon abgeschlossen. Jetzt muss ich die Daten natürlich speichern. Und der nächste Schritt ist, das Ergebnis in meiner Datenbank aufzurufen und zu gucken, wie gut das Ergebnis ausgefallen ist. So, die Farbanalyse ist abgeschlossen. Die beste Übereinstimmung liegt bei 98%. Das ist wirklich sehr gut. Wir sehen auch schon in dem Programm, dass es so ein Cremeweiß ist und das passt auch zu dem Tankdeckel, den wir bekommen haben. Dass der Originallack früher natürlich ein bisschen weißer war. Über die Jahre ist es alles ein bisschen vergilbt und dementsprechend ist es umso schwieriger, den Originalton zu treffen. Aber dank der Farbanalyse ist es möglich. Der nächste Schritt ist jetzt, dass wir uns eine Spraydose anfertigen lassen und ein Probeblech lackieren, um zu sehen, wie der Lack von MG Colors zu dem Tankdeckel passt. So, ich habe mir eine Spraydose anfertigen lassen, die ist hier. Und mit dieser Spraydose habe ich bereits ein Musterblech lackiert, das sehen wir hier. Und im Vergleich zu dem Tankdeckel, den wir vom Kunden bekommen haben, können wir sehen, dass die Weißtöne voll übereinstimmen. Bitte schön. Jetzt können wir den Lack unserem Kunden senden.
Filming wrapped in early May, and by August I'd brought the car up to my usual standards. Underneath that mediocre paint job, the sill had indeed taken some local damage, but the metalwork was solid. The paint, however, was a different story. Far too much body filler and some brittle old-school stone guard. I've since replaced that with a permanently elastic tinted BU paste bed liner. If you'd like to see more builds like this, check out MG's YouTube channel for similar projects. I've dropped the link in the description below. I'll also be releasing a separate film covering the full sill repair in detail, so stay tuned for that. Until then, take care and don't forget to like and subscribe.